𝐷9.com.
Hey, here we go. And we're off, taking off on a Monday. Welcome in. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Good to be with you here today on this Monday. You know, I guess, truthfully, we get out of Reaction Monday season once baseball's over with. And then we kind of get back into it when football kicks back up. So, I mean, there's things happening on the weekend, but it's still not quite the same. So we'll file away the Reaction Monday approach until we start having football, or at least maybe even having preseason practice and scrimmages on the weekend and all that kind of stuff. That said, stuff did happen this weekend. Hope you had a great, fun, including fellowship and food, 4th of July weekend, Independence Day. Hope you had a safe one, most of all. So I hope all that went well. You know, if you're wanting soccer talk, I got a great appreciation for it, and I understand, you know, that it's a huge thing, and lots of people, rightfully so, really following your team. I hadn't watched, I don't know, and so if we need an update, maybe Beaver could give us one. If you want that, I think that happened this weekend, didn't it? Yeah. So all that and more on the table with you today here on this Monday. Get on in here. Whatever you want to get into is really cool with me. You can text me on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text the show is 885-3776. That's a 601 number, 885-3776. If you text me on that number, it pops up here. One nice, neat column. I can see them here, and so we can get you on the show that way. 885-3776. That's one way to do it. Now, phone line's open to you. This is a great time of year to have phone calls. Really, any time of year. Get tired of hearing me talk. Let's hear somebody else talk. Let's hear you talk for a change. Whatever you want to get into. Comments, questions, opinions, otherwise. On the Junction phone, Junction delis all across the state. Fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. Number to call, 897-1059. That's 601 number. 897-1059. So get on in here that way. Hey, and let me give you a heads up. So today being Monday, and being that we are involved on this show anyway, in our countdown of 80 teams in 80 days. So we started at 80 days away from Saturday, September the 5th. We are counted down. Today we are at, actually today is what? 61? Today's 61, you believe that? So we're getting real close. So we're at 61 days away. But we've got teams number 62 and 61 because we had a weekend. So we did 2 teams on Friday. That covered Friday, Saturday. We'll do 2 teams today on the countdown, covering yesterday and today. And then we'll be all caught up. And guess what? That means when I'm in there with Beaver tomorrow in the home Farm Bureau Insurance Studio in the Metro, that means we'll be a smooth, nice, even draw, a clean line 60 days away, 2 months from the start of the season tomorrow. So we'll continue the countdown today. Oh, and the 2 teams that we have. Let's see, what are the teases on that? One is an SEC team today. One of the 2. And it's one of my favorite, fight song sort of deals in the SEC. So you got that. And then the other team is a team that played an SEC team twice last year. That's a pretty strong clue. You may already know, but that would be, there's more than one option. A team that played the same SEC team twice last year. There's actually more than one option on that. So that's a little bit of a clue of what's coming up in today's show. It is an abbreviated show. This afternoon will be a travel afternoon for Matt Wyatt Media and whatnot. So this is an hour show. Be with you for an hour. We'll get it all in here on this Monday. I do want to pass this along to you, though. You know, I think I'm going to preface this little piece of news I'm about to give you with some context on it, being honest with you. All right, me personally, I didn't grow up, even though I grew up in the state of Alabama, I didn't grow up a diehard fan of either Alabama or Auburn. You know, I had some people in my family, everybody does in Alabama, who are diehard fans of both schools, you know, ones or the other, depending on where they, and I got a bunch of Auburn grads and a bunch of Alabama grads in my family. We kept up with it, but we didn't go to games at one or the other. I didn't grow up rooting for one or the other. Kind of grew up actually just a Braves fan. And then the first year I ever played organized real football was in the 8th grade. And then I fell in love with football and decided I wanted to be a football player. So started watching games on TV, and I kind of watched everybody. But I didn't have one team. We didn't go to Alabama or Auburn games, that sort of thing. But I think by virtue of being from there and all those things I mentioned, I have a great appreciation for their rivalry, that Iron Bowl rivalry in Alabama. I like to keep up with those two teams throughout the year. I certainly, you know, State's my team. That's the one I keep up with every day, year round. But I like to keep up with Alabama and Auburn some. And also, you know, the reality is there is no other. There are other rivalries that are as or more hated. I'm not even going to use the word toxic since it was so overused a few years ago. More or as or more than Alabama, Auburn. But there are really none that from a football standpoint have historically carried the stakes and have been as heightened as that Iron Bowl rivalry is in Alabama. Okay, there's the context on that, all right? I don't know why I thought you needed to hear that from me, but there it is. But this, my friend Pat Smith, he's on the radio over in Birmingham, and he posted this today with the caption, first it was the Big Ten and the SEC releasing a joint statement in opposition to the Protect College Sports Act, now Alabama and Auburn. So I'm going to read you what this says, but the Big Ten, we know that, and the SEC released a statement in opposition to this Protect College Sports Act because there was things in there they didn't like that might, you know, limit them on down the road. Well, now specifically, the two big schools in the state of Alabama, Alabama and Auburn, have released a joint statement in opposition of the Protect College Sports Act. As far as I know, it's the, maybe other than Notre Dame, it's the only individual school or schools, parentheses S, that have done this, other than conference statements on this deal. Here it is. They put it out there today. The University of Alabama and Auburn University oppose the Protect College Sports Act and urge the Senate not to advance it in its current form. The bill is presented as a way to stabilize college athletics, but it would do the opposite by perpetrating the very instability it claims to cure through provisions that would, one, undermine implementation and enforcement of the rules established under the House settlement, including by narrowing the disclosure and enforcement tools needed to hold every program to the same standards. Two, allow for litigation. All right. I'm not going to read the rest of the paragraph. You know what that means. Alabama and Auburn released a statement that says this Protect or Save College Sports Act is going to allow for getting sued. Number three, establish an expansive, big difference. Establish an expansive federal program reaching into roster decisions, game scheduling, and internal governance to micromanage college athletics, which obviously the conferences and schools don't want. And then four, advance private equity interests who stand to profit from a redistribution of media rights revenue. Conferences don't want any of that. Two big schools in Alabama now, they don't want any of that. Where are the conference offices for the SEC located? That's right. Birmingham, Alabama. This document is signed by the President Pro Tempore of the Board of Trustees of the University of Alabama System. It is signed by the President Pro Tempore of the Auburn University Board of Trustees and the presidents at both schools, Moeller at Alabama and Roberts at Auburn. All the big boys are against it. And if it get passed, they can throw a hissy fit. I'll be there for all of it. All right. Team number 62 on the countdown of 80 teams coming up next. Stick around. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. We got that. What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true.
That's The Zone 105.9 and coming to you worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Here we go, rolling along with you on this Monday in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Hey, don't forget, if you have, to ask your local Farm Bureau insurance agent about the new Farm Bureau Health Plan. It's powered by Blue Cross. It's through Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Especially if you're like me, self-employed or own your own business or been buying your own insurance for a while, you may be slightly shocked at what you could save with the Mississippi Farm Bureau Health Insurance Plan. So check that out. Ask them, call them, go by. There's local agents all over the state in all 82 counties. State Fan 85, thanks for your text. Country Pleasing text line. Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best. I had jalapeno and cheddar this morning with breakfast along with some other things. Highly, highly recommend it. State Fan 85, you said, is your family State fans since you went and played at State? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Since the day I went there, mom and dad and sister and folks, immediate family, all watch every State game that's on. And multiple sports. They all became Bulldogs. We all did when I went. That's just the way it works. That's just the way it works. Now, extended family, like cousins and uncles and aunts, they're all still War Eagle and Roll Tide, most of them. We got a few Go Commodores. We got a few Vandy fans in the family also. But yeah, immediate family, we all became Bulldogs when I went to school there. All State fan, all those years ago. Hey, one thing before we jump into the countdown. What is the number again? Today is 61 days away from September the 5th, but we're doing Team 62 and 61, so we're going to do 62 coming up. Before I do that, though, let me let you know. I started to say this is one of my favorite days of the year. The problem is I celebrate this pretty much year-round. Okay? Today is National Fried Chicken Day. And I've been a huge fan of fried chicken for a long time. We're talking about family. I was born mid-late 70s, right? So when I was itty-bitty, just started eating real food. It might have turned 1980 yet, I don't know. But they tell stories about giving me fried chicken for the first time. Back then, it was KFC. July 6th, chicken lovers across the country recognize National Fried Chicken Day by feasting at a nearby restaurant, home, or outdoor picnic. And see, that's why I started to say it's my favorite day of the year. It just recognizes something that I pretty much celebrated all year long. Fried, baked, smoked, grilled, rotisserie. Yeah, bring that on. That's what but fried chicken. Today is Fried Chicken Day. Okay. Who is team number 62 on the countdown? Of 80 teams in 80 days, team number 62 is... Yeah, that's old Rocky Top. It's got to be one of your favorite things, fight song type things that a band plays. It is mine. It's certainly really recognizable. But it's not their fight song. Okay, it's what they play. It's what we recognize. It's what they're known for. Technically, though, according to the letter of the law, it's called Down the Field. when I heard this, I thought, yeah, okay, I've heard that. I've heard this at Tennessee games. So there you go. Tennessee. Let's talk about the Vols real quick, what we need to know. Hey to you, Will. Will's in on YouTube here on a Monday. Thanks for being a part of the show. All right. Last season, Tennessee goes 8-5 overall, went 4-4. And wasn't that, if I'm thinking right, wasn't that a little bit of a step back for them? Because they had been in the mix the year before, 2024. Had a really good year, went 10-2 in the regular season, did not get into, because of those two losses 2 years ago, didn't get into the SEC championship game, but got into the playoff and then just got whipped in the first round of the college football playoff 2 years ago by Ohio State. You go back a couple of years, 2023, it was 8 wins, but really 9. They beat Iowa in their bowl game. You go back to 22, they were a 10-win team. Beat Clemson in the Orange Bowl. So in 2022, they miss out on playoffs, beat Clemson, become 11-2, immediately go 8-4. 2 years ago, they go 10-2, get in the playoff, boom, immediately 8 wins last year, and including the loss in the bowl game. So this year, schedule this year for Tennessee. Let me back up. Let's look at last year. Because part of that deal last year was they should have lost to Mississippi State. State should have beaten them. It was an overtime deal, right? State couldn't hold on. You think about State last year. Have we given enough thought now that it's over, looking back, to the fact that you had Tennessee on the ropes, you wind up losing in overtime at home. You have a huge lead on Texas going into the fourth quarter, lose at home. And you coulda, shoulda, woulda beat Florida, but you don't kick, you throw it instead at the end of the Florida game on the road. But anyway, that's State. Sorry. Last year for Tennessee, they got off to a 2-0 start. Syracuse and East Carolina won those two, and then played Georgia week 3, heck of a ball game, 44-41 loss in overtime. So now they're 2-1, overtime loss to Georgia. 3-game win streak, UAB, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. Some of those were closer, and they gave up more points than Tennessee fans would have liked. And it's probably your indication that they weren't that great. State coulda, shoulda, woulda, but State loses in overtime 41-34. So now Tennessee is 5-1 and loses to Alabama in Tuscaloosa 37-20. So they score some points, but you give up 37. Now you're 5-2. Beat Kentucky, lose to Oklahoma. Close ball game too. It's a 5-point game. Lose to Oklahoma. So Tennessee, they were pretty good. They were right there, right? 5-point loss to Oklahoma. Overtime loss to Georgia, but both of those were home losses for them. They beat New Mexico State and Florida, and then, of course, had the loss to Vandy at the end of the year, 45-24, kind of embarrassing finish, and then losing to Illinois in the Liberty Bowl. So it kind of petered out. It was not the game. But if you look at the pattern under Heupel, it's always been double-digit wins, 8 wins. Double-digit wins. Last year they had 8 wins. Maybe this year they jump up and have more. We'll see. So the schedule this year for Tennessee, of course, you got changeover, new players. Everybody does. New uniforms. They're Adidas this year at Tennessee. Yeah, Will, I'm going to answer that question. Hang on. So in 61 days on September 5th, Tennessee will host Furman. Week 2, they go to Georgia Tech. Night game at Georgia Tech. That'll be a tough one. Week 3, come back home, host Kennesaw State. And the last weekend in September, they will host Texas at Neyland Stadium. You talk about clashing oranges. October games for Tennessee this year are host Auburn, go to Arkansas, host Alabama, 3rd week of October, travel to South Carolina. And then the month of November, they host Kentucky, travel to A&M, host LSU, and go to Vandy in Nashville the weekend of Thanksgiving, and that's their schedule this year. Okay, your question, Will, on the live stream on YouTube. Who is the Vols quarterback this year, and is he any good? Okay, I found this. This was 2 months ago, back in May, when you were at 100 days until the season. But Go Vols, which is 24/7 Sports, which covers Tennessee, projected a guy named Faison Brandon. It's either Faison or Faison Brandon, to be the quarterback at Tennessee. Now, that's all I know right now. Will, so what we're going to do, take a quick break. I'm going to read up on this guy, so stick around, and in about 3.5 minutes, I'll tell you what I know about him. Plus, I'm coming to your texts on the Country Pleasing text line, Joe Mailman and Tyga and the rest of y'all. So stick around. More coming up back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, Convenience Redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960s, pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, but we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire. Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash, and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's
Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go.
Gonna hear about them all and get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Okay, back with you in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go! With the home team. They are your home team. Farm Bureau Insurance all across the state. So Will had the question about who's going to be Tennessee's quarterback. Jared Garantano, how you say his name? Isn't that who it was? Jared Garantano? Yeah, the suing for more eligibility didn't work. I don't even know why it didn't work. You know, it worked for the kid at Ole Miss, but I don't know why it didn't work for him. But yeah, he's out, and so they got this guy in there. Here's what I was telling you, Will. You know, someone like me kind of have to lean on the people and the places that cover their team year round. They would know this kind of thing. But yeah, just, you know, within the last couple of months, this is after spring, 24/7 Sports. What's the name of it again? Go Vols 24/7. I'm trying to tell you where it is so you can read it because they did every position. All right, Go Vols 24/7. Started with quarterback. Neither the 5-star freshman nor redshirt freshman George McIntyre necessarily lit it up during spring practice. Both quarterbacks showed their youth. This other guy is Faison Brandon or Faison Brandon. I don't know how you say it. Brandon, who went 35-1 as a starter in high school and led his team to a state championship during his junior and senior years, generated more buzz, looked the part more regularly. He's impressive physically, 6'4", 215. Here's the thing about that. Everybody in college now is 6'4", 215 playing quarterback. You almost don't see the small guys anymore. Impressive arm talent, kind of athleticism and mobility that can be a difference maker at the quarterback position. The competition between Brandon and McIntyre is far from over, but more of the same from the spring and preseason camp likely ends with Faison Brandon or Faison Brandon getting the nod. Okay, so that's who that is. And how about that? You know, if that happens, it'll be a bit of a departure for Tennessee. How far do you have to go back to find a Tennessee starting quarterback that they recruited straight out of high school? Who would be the last one? Especially a freshman that they recruited right out of high school. So that'd be pretty cool to see. It'd be fun to watch it. Joe Mailman. What's up, Joe? You texted and said, Matt, one of your texters who's always encouraging you to watch Greater, I agree with him, watched it twice over the weekend. Got to see Brandon Burlsworth at a state game in the late 90s. Very inspirational movie. All right. There's 2 thumbs up, 2 recommendations. I need to watch that thing. Tyga, what's up with you? You texted and said Mississippi State on a trick play. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. Let me back up. Happy Monday, Matt. This time of year, I start really getting fired up for football season. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. You said I start watching games from the days of old. This weekend, I watched the 1996 Mississippi State versus LSU game. It was a rainy, muddy day in Baton Rouge. Some tall, skinny kid came in the second half and punted for Mississippi State. For Mississippi State on a trick play and then played quarterback for the rest of the game. What do you remember about that day and that game? Do you start watching old games this time of year in anticipation for the season? Yes, I do, Tyga. In fact, yes, I do. I was watching yesterday. Yeah, I mean, you may find it interesting, you might not, but it's absolutely true. I just kind of do it. It's not like a conscious decision. Okay, it's July, let's start watching. It just starts, it happens. And it's like, by this time, it's almost like YouTube knows I'm going to do it because that algorithm starts sending me these old games. I must have done it every year in July. And yesterday, I was watching a little bit of our loss to Alabama in Tuscaloosa my senior year. It was a big national broadcast on CBS, and they beat us. And see, we had won the 3 in a row leading up to that. We won in 96 in Starkville, 97 in Tuscaloosa, 98 in Starkville. We're trying to go for 4 in a row. And see, the year before, we beat Alabama in Starkville. We went to the SEC championship game. And then this year, 99, they beat us in Tuscaloosa, and they went to the SEC championship game. So it was a big game. And you'll remember Freddie Millens from Starkville High School. He had a big game again. I was watching that, and I knew I threw an interception in that game, but I had forgotten that it was the first play they put me in. The game was like it was a one-score game. See, I can laugh about it now. I'm almost 50. It was a one-score game, and they put me in because we had had some success in previous weeks. So then they'd stick me in the second half, and here we go. And yeah, first play action, roll out, pressure. I got a back pedal, throw it up the sideline, pick. First play. I was watching that one. But yeah, to answer your question, Tyga, my memories of playing against LSU in 96, I would have been a redshirt freshman. Yeah, so I was still skinny then. And it was muddy and sloppy because it was one of those days where it would rain really hard for a minute. I mean, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face kind of rain, and then boom, it'd stop, and the sun would come out. You're like, man, what happened? You splash around in the mud and the water with the sun out, and it's hot. And then it would rain again, and then the sun would come back out. It was that kind of weather that day. So it was muddy, sloppy. I don't remember much about playing quarterback in that game. I guess I did, but I do remember that punt. There was a punt in that game where the ball was like a slick watermelon. It was so wet, muddy, and slick. And I got a punt. I go in there and I'm splashing around. I stand there and they snap me the ball. It comes to me and I could catch the thing, these big hands, and they just hit my hands and just went right through them. Right through my hands, hit me in the chest, hit the mud, splat. So I go to pick the ball up, and when I did, the rusher off the edge, he's already there, he's about to hit me. So I pick it up, but he doesn't have good footing either, running full speed because it's so muddy. So I did one little side slip, and he went, whoop, just went right past me. I sidestepped him, punted the ball. It does this sidewinder thing down to about maybe 8-yard line, and just splat, sticks in the mud, and we killed it. And when I kind of got up, I'm shaking the mud off, I remember the referee, whoever the referee was, ran by me and goes, "Good job, son." I got a compliment from the referee in that game. That's about all I remember about it, to be honest with you. It's been a long time ago. Bo, you texted and said, "Matt, this is really the third year in a row where you say Tennessee's quarterback is who?" Yeah, that's right. About third year in a row. Hey, but I'm going to tell you something. Here is a true statement about Tennessee football and their offense and Josh Heupel. It is quarterback friendly. Maybe the easiest statement in the world to make because the numbers back all that up. I mean, it's good you can look at stats, okay? But that's the points you're making. It's about the third year in a row. You go, who's your QB? Different ones. At one point, it was Hooker who had transferred in there, and then it was whoever, and then it was the kid from South Alabama last year. They transfer in there, pick it up really fast, and then go have success. It's a lot like the Lane Kiffin offenses over the years that he's coached in college football. It's very quarterback friendly. And I would love to go to a clinic or be in their meeting rooms and kind of hear how, because it's more than just teaching them X's and O's. There's a confidence factor too. I knew it, and you could recognize it when Josh Heupel was coaching at Missouri, when he was coaching way back when at UCF. In fact, when Tennessee hired Josh Heupel, I made a video, and it's on the YouTube channel still, saying, listen, this is one thing I can guarantee you, because Tennessee was bad. And they had been through the ringer as a program, right? I said, one thing I can guarantee you is your offense will immediately get better. And I'm talking about the day they ran out there, it was better. You could see it. Yeah, you know, he's a quarterback, understands it, aggressive attitude, has a knack for it, coaches it very quarterback friendly, but there's a confidence aspect. Coaches like Heupel, they just have a way of, by the time that game gets there and that quarterback walks out there to take a snap, he knows what he's going to do. He knows he can do it, and he does it. It's a sign of a good quarterback's coach. Heupel's a good quarterback's coach. No doubt about it. All right, I told you, short and show. When we come back, team number 61 on the countdown of 80 teams in 80 days. That's coming up. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on, baby. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender. Hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday. Back with you. I'm Matt. In the Bureau, got a little bit of time left here with you. Shortened 1-hour show today. Today's a travel day for yours truly. Get to go hang out with Beaver tomorrow and the fine folks at the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. Mississippi Outdoors Podcast production tomorrow. I get to do all of that. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to all of it. And I got to thinking. I need your... I think it's a short show. Tomorrow's normal 2-hour show in the studio with Beaver. Instead of doing 2 teams on the count, I'm calling an audible at the line of scrimmage. As a former quarterback, would you agree I'm allowed to call an audible at the line and change the play just based on what I'm looking at here in front of me? We'll do 2 teams tomorrow. That's what we'll do. And tomorrow's a big day anyway because it's an even 60 days to the start of the season, September 5th. So we'll do 2 teams tomorrow. So we'll save team number 61. I'll play their fight song. I don't think you'll ever get it. See what I mean? That's their fight song. So we'll do that. We'll do 2 teams tomorrow. 61 and 60 tomorrow will be 60 days. And teams 61 and 60 in our countdown of 80 teams to the start of the season on September 5th. That's coming up. Right now, I'm coming to your messages, your text messages. On the Country Pleasing text line, Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves everywhere. Rebel Godfather, good to hear from you. You said Tennessee and Heupel will go 6-6. Man, that would be taking a major step back for them, wouldn't it? You're talking about 2 years ago, 10 wins in the college football playoff. 2 years before that, you're an 11-win team when it was all said and done. And you're saying this year Tennessee is going to lose 6 games. I'm trying to look at their schedule here, Rebel Godfather, and see who that would be. So, Vandy without Pavia. What do y'all think? Vandy without Pavia. I think Tennessee beats them this year. So I'm going to give them a win on that one, the last game of the year against Vandy in Nashville. Furman in week 1, there's 2 wins. Kennesaw State week 3, that's 3 wins. Let's give them Kentucky at home in November. There's 4 wins. Notice the pause there, Rebel Godfather, because here's the thing about it. Now, the rest of the team, there's 4 definite wins, but the rest of the teams on their schedule, let's look at them this way for Tennessee. Georgia Tech, you really don't know. Brent Fry and that bunch, I mean, they're very much improved. Not bad at all. Is Hayes, what's his name? Hayes King, is he back? Or are they on to another quarterback? It's so hard to keep up with. But anyway, Georgia Tech in Atlanta week 2, you don't know. You cannot guarantee that win. Texas at home at the end of September. You can't guarantee that one. Auburn at home first weekend in October. You can't guarantee that. Okay, but now listen to this one. Second week of October, Tennessee goes to Arkansas. Arkansas is a whole new team with a whole new coaching staff and Ryan Silverfield. And It's in Fayetteville, but we don't know. I mean, you and I, with what confidence can I talk about Arkansas? When you're talking 44 new players that are all going to factor in and a new coaching staff that all players are playing somewhere else, how can you confidently say we know how that's going to translate on the field? We don't know. We just don't know. So I can't confidently sit here and say with a potentially first year freshman quarterback starting for you that's a definite type of win for Tennessee. I can't say that. At South Carolina in late October, it probably should be a win for Tennessee, but it's there. At A&M in November, probably a loss. Hosting LSU, Tennessee hosting LSU Saturday, November 21st. Are we going to see the mustard bottles and the golf balls again for Lane Kiffin? Who knows, it'll be a different school this time. So I see I'll give them 4 definite wins, Rebel Godfather. I'll also give them a definite loss at Texas A&M. And see, that's only 5-year games. And in the other 7 games, to me, I don't know how you can, without seeing it first, without seeing all these teams at least play 1 game first, really know what to say about it. At Georgia Tech in Atlanta, I don't know. Texas in Neyland Stadium. Auburn goes to Neyland Stadium the next week. I don't know. At Arkansas. Alabama. Truth is, that's probably a winnable game, isn't it, for Tennessee? All things considered. But it's an interesting look at them. I guess, to keep up the pattern, Rebel Godfather, with what we said, they went 8 wins and then 11, and then 8 wins and then 10. Now they're back at 8 wins last year. So if they jump up to double digit this year, then it means, man, something really did happen for them. And the other thing is Tennessee, like everybody else, brought in all kinds of players. Okay, so first of all, let's look at who went out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 31 players out. That's what I'm looking at. 31 players out. And so then you got at least that many in. They got a ton of transfers in. A corner from Miami, a corner from Maryland, corner from Colorado. Safety, is that Maryland or is that Marshall? I can't see the Michigan. It's Michigan, not Maryland. It was grayed out. So a corner from Michigan, safety from Michigan, safety from Penn State, a kicker from Louisville, linebacker Penn State, safety Kansas State, D lineman Penn State, quarterback from Colorado, Ryan Staub. And see, I don't know. I mean, I guess he doesn't factor in, at least according to the websites that cover Tennessee. Lineman from West Virginia. Here are the schools, the rest of the schools. LSU, Tulane, Auburn, Tulane, South Alabama, Penn State, App State. Who's that? Idaho State and Eastern Kentucky. That's some of the ones coming in there. Well, I mean, the Eastern Kentucky kid is a long snapper. But the rest of them are all position players. A bunch of offensive linemen transferred in there. So the numbers on the transfers in, let me just do yours. It's a real rough, non-exact count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. I see 21 in. So they lost more than they brought in, according to 24/7, and went and recruited high school kids. Heupel's the head coach. I was looking at their staff. Some of the names on their staff that I do recognize: Rodney Garner, He's coaching their defensive line. He's been at it a long time. And Rodney was a really good player. Anyway, that's a look at Tennessee. It's interesting to think about. I'll do that, Rebel Godfather. I'll go back and look at what he did as a head coach at UCF. I know he's a good offensive coach. I know that. I know he's a good quarterbacks coach. Okay, listen, thank you all for being here today. Shortened show. Back to 2-hour show tomorrow. I'll be in the studio with Beaver. We'll hit 2 teams on the countdown tomorrow, 61 and 60. Plus anything else you want to get into. That's what we'll do tomorrow about this time. Thanks for being here today. I'm Matt for Beaver. All of us on the show in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. See you tomorrow. See ya.